Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 431 of NoDQ&A video, right here on NoDQ.com, the YouTube channel, and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. WWE Elimination Chamber is live this Sunday on pay-per-view. You can check out NoDQ.com for all the latest news and rumors, and of course, live results coverage. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. Let me repeat that because I still get asked all the time on Facebook and Twitter, where can I submit questions for NoDQ&A video? Spring.me/Aaron Rift. If you see anybody asking, send them to that URL. With that out of the way, let's get down to the questions here. First one from Dave451985. Who do you think would be the most fitting opponent for Undertaker's last match, and do you think that they should defeat the Streak? Well, there's only a few guys, in my opinion, that should be facing The Undertaker at this point. There's only a handful of guys. Regarding Undertaker's final match, if it's not against John Cena this year, and I'm expecting it to be Undertaker and Lesnar, unless WWE changes plans at the last minute, I think it's best to have Undertaker's final match be at Wrestlemania 31 against John Cena. To me, that is the best way to end The Undertaker's career. Put him in there with the guy who has been the face of the company, John Cena, the guy who has a reputation for being Superman, a guy who never loses, against the guy who has the WrestleMania streak. Makes perfect logical sense, and that is a match fans have been wanting to see for years now. And in my opinion, it's the biggest dream match WWE could put together at WrestleMania at this point. Now, if you don't go with John Cena, the only other option, in my opinion, is having Undertaker against a young and up-and-coming superstar and possibly have that person end the streak. I've talked about this before. If Undertaker is going to lose in his final match, which I don't know if that is the best idea or not, but if it's going to happen, then it should be against a guy who is going to be the future of the company for years to come. Now, there's been a lot of people throwing out the name Roman Reigns, and time will tell how far he goes. If Roman Reigns is clearly going to be the man in 2015, then perhaps it would be best to put Undertaker in there with Roman Reigns and have Roman beat him and end the streak. That would definitely seal Roman Reigns' fate as one of the all-time great WWE superstars. But we have to see if he can get to that level first before you commit to that. But yeah, if it's not Roman Reigns, then John Cena is the clear choice, in my opinion, to be the final opponent for Undertaker at WrestleMania and then call it a career. Alright, this one comes from Paul Heyman Guy 18. Hey Aaron, what were your favorite and least favorite movies starring wrestlers? Well, I think my all-time favorite movie starring a wrestler would have to be They Live with Roddy Piper in the late 80s, John Carpenter's film. That was a very good movie, actually. And as far as The Rock's movies go, most of Rock's movies have been okay. I think that The Rundown was probably my favorite of The Rock's films. I thought that movie was actually very good by action movie standards. It was a very entertaining movie, and it was quality entertainment. As far as some of the worst movies, anything Hulk Hogan. I mean, Hulk Hogan's movies were not too good. No Holds Barred, Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny. Those were pretty brutal to watch. And there were even worse Hulk Hogan movies after that, believe it or not. I think my least favorite movie featuring wrestlers would have to be The Wrong Side of Town. That was one of the worst movies I have ever seen, period. You had Batista in it, you had RVD, you had Ja Rule in it, and it was just so bad. I mean, RVD didn't even make any effort to look different beyond his wrestling character, and I love RVD to death, but yeah, that movie sucked pretty bad. Alright, this next question comes from I'm a Heyman Guy. So we had Paul Heyman Guy 18 and I'm a Heyman Guy. Do you think the WWE will induct Big Daddy V to the Hall of Fame? And also, where would you rank him in the big wrestlers list? Well, I figured with the untimely death of Big Daddy V, Viscera, Mabel, it was inevitable that I would get these questions here. Will Big Daddy V go into the Hall of Fame? And I always get these questions when somebody dies. as far as his accomplishments in the wrestling business, obviously he had a few key moments. He won the 1995 King of the Ring. He had the WWE title match at SummerSlam, which was pretty much a bomb. And he came back as Viscera. He was part of the Ministry of Darkness, and then later he came back again and did the Big Love Machine, Big Daddy V, Viscera, and then he turned heel again and changed up his character. So, I mean, he had various incarnations throughout the years. You know, he was pretty good for a guy his size. I mean, he could be agile and do some athletic things in the ring. But as far as going into the Hall of Fame, I think that it's a long shot. I think that, once again, I've talked about this before in other videos, WWE's not going to induct a lot of wrestlers that have passed away, especially in a short period of time. It will be spread out over time. And I don't know if he was quite a big enough star to justify a Hall of Fame induction, but he was also very well liked in the wrestling industry, and a lot of people are upset about his death. So, you know, I think that because of that, he might have a decent shot of getting in at some point. You know, sometimes it's good to have friends and have people that will vouch for you. So, you know, he might have an advantage over some of the other people that would be considered. All right, next question here. How much of an impact do you think Titus ONeil will make? Well, I'd like to say that he might make some impact and this heel turn will amount to something, but it's very bad timing. I mean, right now you have Elimination Chamber and Wrestlemania season is coming into full swing, and I have a strong suspicion that he will get lost in the shuffle, and right now he's scheduled to face Darren Young at the pay-per-view, and it's probably going to be a very forgettable match, a filler match on the pay-per-view, and it's quite possible that he will be pushed aside. You know, all the focus will be on the big WrestleMania matches, and he'll just be a side player, and this heel turn will turn out to be a flop. So as much as I'd like to say that it will mean something, I mean, the odds are against it happening. I think they should have waited until after WrestleMania to pull the trigger on the heel turn and you know, be able to give more attention to the feud between Titus ONeil and Darren Young. All right, this next one comes from York Master. Hello, Aaron. Greetings from South Africa. Do you think Christian's role in the Elimination Chamber is to job to Cesaro? Please answer in video. I think his job is to job, period. I think that that's what his role will be. You know, I talked about a couple months ago the idea of having the Elimination Chamber consist of the 6 top names, but the problem with that is 5 people have to do a job in that match. So you want to have a few guys, a few bodies in there that can take bumps and be the first guys out, and you know that's what Christian's role is at this point. And unfortunately for Cesaro, that's probably what his role is going to be as well. I think that he'll be protected a little bit more than Christian, but you know, wouldn't surprise me to see him be the second or third one out. But yeah, Christian is essentially just a body in the match, and you know, maybe he'll take some cool bumps into the cage or whatever, but you know, that's as much as his role is going to be in the match. All right, this next one comes from Vices. Do you think a Cesaro face turn is in the works? After Raw on Monday night, he played a babyface role with the other members of the Elimination Chamber match by doing finisher moves to the heel, which was Dean Ambrose. Well, at this point, he's still a heel, and he'll still be a heel going into Elimination Chamber. And I think that it's inevitable that he will make a face turn at some point. I think that, you know, the fans are cheering more and more for him. He does all the cool moves. He does the big swing. And, you know, I think fans are just getting behind him. So I think it'll happen sooner than later. He'll probably feud with Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter initially. Once again, you know, going back to Titus ONeil and that whole situation, I think it would be best to wait until after WrestleMania, or even maybe put them in some kind of tag match at WrestleMania, and then there's a split there at WrestleMania, and that leads to the Cesaro face turn. You know, WrestleMania would be a good place for Cesaro to make an official babyface turn on that big stage. So, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing it at WrestleMania, and then you can focus on that feud after WrestleMania, and fans have something to look forward to after the big pay-per-view. All right, next question here. With CM Punk walking out, do you think that WWE will completely Randy Savage him by not inducting him into the Hall of Fame when his career is over? Well, we still don't know what went down between Randy Savage and WWE, and I know what the rumors are, and I've heard all the talk about Savage, and it certainly is bizarre, this Savage situation. But as far as CM Punk simply walking out on the company because he got burned out, I don't think WWE will hold that against him forever. I think that if there's money to be made with CM Punk going into the Hall of Fame someday, I think WWE will forgive him and allow him to come into the Hall of Fame. So I don't see him walking out, being a situation where they're going to Randy Savage him or Chris Benoit him. I mean, I've seen people mention that too. Things get worked out over time, and I think at some point CM Punk will be back in WWE and he'll be on good terms with them. And we still don't even know all the details with CM Punk, so it's really hard to say what's going to happen. But I think in the end, cooler heads will prevail, and one day we will definitely see CM Punk in the Hall of Fame. All right, final question here today from Joe Harden 60417. Hey Aaron, longtime fan of the show. Do you see Rob Van Dam coming back anytime soon? It seems as though people who are signed to WWE like Jericho and RVD aren't making any appearances. I was especially surprised when neither showed up at the Rumble. Well, Chris Jericho and RVD, as of this moment, are not signed by WWE. Rob Van Dam came in last summer for a 3-month deal, and then he decided to take some time off. And, the word is that WWE was not happy about that. They wanted him to stick around, but, RVD doesn't want to get burned out. He wants to be able to take a break and then come back. And he was at Raw backstage a few weeks ago in Los Angeles, and he still hasn't made his return yet. So it could be that RVD wants to come back now for WrestleMania, but WWE still is upset about what happened. But once again, I think cooler heads will prevail at some point, and it's good for business to have RVD around. So I think that something will be worked out, and I don't think we've seen the last of RVD in WWE. And I'm hoping he will be at WrestleMania. I think he should be at WrestleMania in some capacity. As far as Jericho goes, I mean, he's got his other projects, and it could happen. But if it doesn't happen, I'm sure it's not the end of the world for him. But I think that both Jericho and RVD would add to the WrestleMania event. So we'll see what happens. It can go really either way. It's just a matter of both sides being able to work out a deal together. All right, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW if you haven't already, and share this video on Facebook and Twitter. Anybody who watches wrestling, have them check out No DQ&A video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time for more.